Family, Brother Marcellus ain't got but a little bit of time left.
You know, a lot of
And this just the live that I'm finna do until they make up their mind what they wanna do.
Yai Quab on the track.
I'm waiting for everybody to come in that's gonna come in.
My hands on the plow, yeah, I was shy, coming back, man in the cloud. We is gonna people on the folk corner. Must have sinned, but the dead got a grave first. We got a warning from the Father made long time ago. Being marked by the nations everywhere we go. Nothing left but a promise from the Father and the Son. Eat the breadcrumbs, like we dogs, but we got you raw with a broken soul in the spirit. Father, heal it. Man, I favor hope over every adversary. I gotta wait, even though it seem a long tarry. My mind tired, but I'm still begging, Father, help me. Now where my mama, where my daddy, I feel lost in this here wilderness. Why I'm the black sheep. I don't want to boast of me, cause I ain't trying to be conceited. Pray for clarity of mind, because the devil want me heated. My name and my heritage.
You know the words say, and they were saved by the skins of their teeth. Unbound the cross. You see, we ain't gotta get our name in the book. We need to try to keep it in there. I can see hope in my eyes. Oh, now, praise God.
My chest, so don't know how to express. Walking down this road, road to pass every test. I can't eat, y'all, I can't sleep, y'all. Save me from the water, cause I'm going there deeply. People keep talking, always deceiving. Trying to break it down, but you gotta keep believing. Ripped out the Bible, now they say they Peter Pan. Praying for my people, cause we all gotta stand. I wonder what's a lollipop that took my grandma and my uncle's side. It's a cold world, trying to bring the truth out. People get paid, took the check to be a sell out. Lying on the word, but it ain't no other way out. To my uncle, gotta never give up. Keep across the world, everywhere, keep your eyes up. Pressing to the mark, yeah, man, and how you callin'? Hey, come to see a man that'll live it when you're falling, God.
I need, oh, now, praise God.
Shalom, Sister Coco. Thank you for coming, sis. finna go ahead and get into this right here. When I get off of here, I'll give you a wrench, sister, if you would like. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Brother Marcellus. If you haven't been aware, since there's been a lot going on, this brother has 11 hours until he is put to death. I'm gonna read over this. Marcellus Williams is scheduled for execution in Missouri on September 24th, even though there is no reliable evidence proving that he committed the crime for which he was sentenced to death. The state destroyed or corrupted the evidence that could conclusively prove his innocence, and available DNA and other forensic crime scenes evidence does not match him. There is far too much uncertainty in this case to allow Mr. Williams to be executed, particularly when the victim's family believes life without parole is the appropriate sentence. It is not too late for Governor Mike Parson to ensure that Missouri does not take an innocent man's life. The governor should exercise his authority to grant clemency and commute Mr. Williams' sentence to life without parole, or, at minimum, stated execution to allow the resolution of further appeals. With the weight of this new evidence and the unreliability of the witnesses who testified against Mr. Williams, his conviction must be reevaluated to ensure that justice is truly served. Dedicated professionals from the Innocent Project, Midwest Innocence Project, and Brian Cave, along with attorneys Larry Kump of the Federal Public Defender, Western District of Missouri, and Kip Gibson, make up the team that continues to fight to stop his September 24th execution. They hope that justice will eventually prevail by way of the exoneration. Okay. Call of Governor Parson to stop the September 24th, right? And they go to the number that they said to call. I called the number. They go to brothers sentenced to death to stop Missouri from the irreparable mistake of executing an innocent person. All right. And I'm going to tell you what I have heard and learned from what happened with this brother and what happened with the woman. Evidence came out that through testimony that some of the people was calling to the prison saying, "Not today, is he dead?" I'll possibly play some of that today. And they was calling in to say they need to stop this. Not today, not on my watch. They didn't receive that. One of the persons that took money, both of them took bribe money to execute this man. The court didn't hear that. None of the blood samples or the hair samples or the fingerprints matches the fingerprints on the crime scene. The court didn't want to hear that. Similar to what's going on in the YSL case. And I'm not saying that the judge on the YSL case is going to go the way that this judge is going. If an angel from heaven came down and told them Marcellus is not guilty, the scripture, the Torah, show you how to judge this, they won't believe it. If Yahweh rose up the woman that got killed, because everybody have their own fingerprints. Everybody have their own blood. This is how people check blood samples and check fingerprints to catch people. If the angels come down, if the woman was rose up from the grave and she said, the man that y'all trying to kill did not lynch me, the way that they going with this, they still gonna kill him anyway. The family, the husband, the family of the woman that was murdered, he's saying that the man shouldn't get the death penalty. Everything on earth, people all across the country, all across the world, is shouting to the top of the top of they lungs that this man shouldn't be put to death. Nobody is being heard. You might as well say that they got a tin up and they got a rope throwed out and they saying we finna lynch us a monkey today. We got us one today and we're gonna lynch us a monkey here today. You might as well say that's what they saying. Let me go to what the news station had to say about this. And then I share this tab with you. This is the phone call of the woman. I don't know. This is the phone call of the woman right here that was calling in to stop the execution. Let me go. Let me go here. This is the woman that's calling in to stop the execution.
If you want to record, go ahead. Take the recorder out. Let's do this. Let's do it. It's not like that. Give me mine. No, Mama. Let me do it.
Okay, so what was she referring to? Let me do it. Let me do it.
Well, the beginning of that phone call, when I answered the phone when she called, I didn't know who it was. So I was trying to get to my recorder. That's why you heard her say, yes, get your recorder. Let's do this. Because the initial part of that phone call said, at that time, my name was Smith. Miss Smith, Miss Smith, is it too late? Is it too late? Is he dead? Did they kill him already? Is he dead yet? I got something I want to say. And so at that point I said, can I record you? And she said, yes, get your recorder. Let's do this. So I can, from what she said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So the question becomes, and thank you for telling us about it, Allison, obviously in reading through the rulings, that's not good enough. The court and the governor both say, no, we don't know that she didn't do it, and it's not competent evidence, and we've done enough of this. What do you feel about that reckoning?
I feel that is exactly reflective of what's wrong with our justice system today. Why are they in a rush to execute somebody? There's so much evidence pointing towards his innocence that just literally pushing the execution back 3 weeks to hear this new evidence. Once he's gone, you can't bring him back. Why not just delay the execution and hear all these points?
They say 15 times he's tried to do this, and that this, both of these people, the man who's now deceased, who is one of the prison informants who supposedly wanted to recant but never did, and now her, who supposedly wants to recant but never officially did, they say that's not enough.
Well, hearsay does count in the state of Missouri. It actually freed Kevin Strickland last year. Latara, if you want to elaborate on that.
Well, yes, I do know that Kevin Strickland, there were witnesses in his case, and, they were allowed to say what the witness in Kevin Strickland said. So I'm not understanding. And I don't think this has never been presented to the court. So let me clear this up. But I don't understand why come is something that the courts would not consider. Because it most definitely, you could tell she was most definitely getting ready to say something that was against her self-interest. And that is exactly how the state of Missouri, how they were able to answer and do what they did in Kevin Strickland's case.
All right. So one last question, Allison.
Yes.
And how terrible is this that we're having this conversation and literally this man may be gone tomorrow, and
It's
we may not know
2024.
what the truth of it is. I mean, what a crazy time.
It is a
But
modern day
Allison,
lynching. Yeah.
Well, look, I understand your perspective on it. The counter is, well, but we have a system and there's been so much due process here that he's had more than enough time for this. But what does it mean to you that, like, how do you deal with this? That tomorrow he's going to be gone?
Not good. We went through this a few years ago, and I'm praying we have the same outcome at the 25th hour. We got the stay of execution, and I'm really holding strong that we're going to again. I mean, there's so many things, and I know we don't have time, but like the knife was contaminated by the state. Like, right for that reason, there should be a mistrial or a retrial. They literally contaminated the evidence, the state of Missouri, that could have exonerated him. How is that fair that he's punished for their own people ruining the investigation?
What does it mean that the Innocence Project, so the Innocence Project has picked up the representation, everybody knows who they are, and
Yeah, of course.
they are not advancing this argument that this caller was going to recant. Why not?
I personally believe, and I'm a huge fan of the Innocence Project, they do great work. I know they really focus on DNA, and they have presented the DNA, and they have presented that there were a handful of fingerprints on the knife, and that none matched Marcellus. There were also bloody footsteps leaving the scene that weren't Marcellus Williams' shoe size. So I can't speak on their behalf. I knew they do great work, and I'm huge fans of theirs.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and I think everyone's trying to do what they can.
That could be it. But though, to be fair, the DNA stuff was chewed on pretty well multiple times over in review at the trial and appellate level, was found lacking. But we will be watching this. We'll see what happens with it. I wanted to give it attention tonight, Allison, because I believe in what you're doing. And Latara, I appreciate you telling people what you know and understand. They should have eyes on our system. So thank you for coming and taking the opportunity. I wish we could have done more. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
No one seems to know this, but Amazon actually has a $50 million fund.
Okay. So that's what they commented on. It was another sister that said something. It was a sister that was saying something about this, but I didn't have time to go through the process of asking for permission and all that to play it, and I don't know what she want to do about that, so I don't want to risk it. I didn't want to risk it. So I'm going to play something else from the news channel.
Thank you for watching this video. Go to your kitchen, grab a pinch of salt, and try this simple
This crazy. But anyway, until that commercial pass, I come. But somebody in California got put to death this morning. I woke up and I saw it on the news that it was somebody else put to death. I mean, they just putting people to death. I don't believe in this. I don't believe in America. I don't believe in their laws. I don't believe that they have integrity. I don't believe in any of the judges. I don't believe in any of the I'm just to the point where I'm about to just I don't know no more, man. These people cold. Like, I ain't never seen nobody this cold-hearted in my life. Not saying everybody, but you know what I mean. It's some cold-hearted people on this planet. My So let me see. I'm gonna play the next one. Help me through. It says it's supposed to be starting in 2 minutes. They won't let me skip the commercials, so I don't know. I just don't know. I'm gonna do this and then I'm finna get off of here. All I can do is tell y'all that is to go on my last video when I get off of here and go and sign your name on the petition. That's literally all that I can say. Cause this is crazy, man. This crazy. I promise you, this crazy. More and more and more, I'm in disbelief. Now this is what came on early this morning. I had to refresh my screen, but this is what came on early this morning. I want you to hear this. All right, so let me share that. This is from early this morning.
Marcellus Williams, convicted of a murder he says he did not commit, is expected to be executed today. His growing list of supporters, though, still hope Governor Mike Parson will change course.
Let's check in now with Fox 2's Laura Simon. She is downtown where a group against the death sentence will meet later today. Laura?
John and Blair, Marcellus Williams is likely in his final hours as Governor Mike Parson says that execution will move forward tonight. And this all comes despite an overwhelming amount of support from people across the world. And on Monday, attorneys made their final arguments for Marcellus Williams out at the Missouri Supreme Court. Williams is set to be executed today for killing former Post-Dispatch reporter Felicia Gale back in 1998. The 55-year-old has always maintained his innocence. He was convicted officially in 2001 for stabbing Gale to death 43 times inside her home in University City. He's been on death row for years at this point. His execution has been stayed twice. Earlier this year, St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Wesley Bell's office filed a motion to vacate the conviction based on DNA evidence that wasn't available when the murder happened. Questions came up about the integrity of the DNA because of the way the knife was handled by investigators years ago. Other issues also came up about the jury's racial makeup in Williams' original trial. Judge Bruce Hilton held an evidentiary hearing on Bell's motion last month, but denied it, allowing this execution to move forward. Bell sent out a statement on Monday saying, in part, even for those who disagree on the death penalty, when there is a shadow of a doubt of any defendant's guilt, the irreversible punishment of execution should not be an option. A clemency petition with more than 1 million signatures is set to be delivered to the governor's office today, but Parson has emphasized that courts at all levels have upheld Williams' conviction. Among the names on this petition, though, are victims' family members, and Michelle Smith is with the group called Missourians for Alternatives to the Death Penalty. Take a listen.
People who think, they're doing this for the family, please understand and reconsider your thought process in that, because in this moment, the family is not supportive of this. However, the government is still pushing forward, which is very disrespectful to the victim's family.
Advocates for Williams are scheduled to meet here at the Carnahan Courthouse at 3 this afternoon, and other advocates will be meeting in various places across the state, and many of those people are going to be traveling to Bonne Terre, where Williams is set to die by lethal injection at 6 tonight. Reporting live in downtown St. Louis this morning, Laura Simon, Fox 2 News.
At Metro, get a new iPhone.
Have you heard about the salt trick that's making men stay hard for hours in bed?
Amazon hates this, but there's nothing they can do to stop.
The Marcellus Williams case is set to go before the Missouri Supreme Court. And Williams is set to be executed, and tomorrow for killing a former Post-Dispatch reporter. But Williams says he's innocent. Fox 2's Chris Renier joins us live in Clayton, previewing the critical hearing. Chris?
John, good morning to you. The Missouri Supreme Court will hear oral arguments in this case at 9 o'clock this morning. We are just outside the St. Louis County Courthouse here in Clayton. Judge Bruce Hilton refusing to stop the execution after a hearing inside the courthouse here last month. The now 55-year-old Williams was convicted of stabbing to death Alicia Gale inside of her University City home in 1998. He was convicted in 2001 and has been on death row for years. Gale was stabbed 43 times. Williams' execution has been stayed twice, but it is still scheduled for tomorrow night at 6 p.m. in Bonne Terre. Today's hearing is a challenge from St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell and Marcellus Williams to Judge Hilton's ruling last month refusing to stop the execution. Earlier this year, Bell's office filed a motion to vacate the conviction against Williams based on DNA evidence that was not available when the crime happened. Bell's office argued that DNA evidence on the knife used in the killing would exonerate Williams, but questions arose about the integrity of that DNA because of the way the knife was handled by investigators years ago. Other issues came up as well about the way jurors were picked in Williams' original trial. Judge Hilton held that evidentiary hearing on Bell's motion last month, but denied it, allowing the execution to proceed. Advocates for Williams plan to rally today and tomorrow. We spoke with one woman who is arguing against executing Williams.
Missouri has executed innocent people before. Our country has executed innocent people. So that's definitely the worst outcome, and that will send a message to our citizens that justice is actually not what, our Attorney General or our governor is seeking.
Bell issued a statement to us ahead of this morning's hearing reading, even for those who disagree on the death penalty, when there is a shadow of a doubt in any defendant's guilt, the irreversible punishment of execution should not be an option. As a St. Louis County prosecutor, our office has questions about Mr. Williams' guilt, but also about the integrity of his conviction. For those reasons, we will continue to do everything in our power to save his life. Our own Jeff Bernthal will be in Jefferson City for this morning's hearing. We will see what takes place. And we have reached out to Attorney General Bailey for comment on this case. His office is pushing for the execution to go forward. We have not yet heard back. For now, live in Clayton, Chris Renier, Fox News.
This is how to get in shape fast.
This is your body. These balloons represent your internal organs.
The execution of a Missouri death row inmate is set to go ahead today after the state Supreme Court and the state's governor both rejected pleas to stop the procedure, despite prosecutors saying he may be innocent. 55-year-old Marcellus Williams is scheduled to be executed later today by lethal injection for the 1998 stabbing death of Alicia Gale Williams, and has maintained his innocence in the case. Or rather, Williams has maintained his innocence in the case. Attorneys for Williams still have an appeal out to the U.S. Supreme Court, though. So joining us now to discuss this is CBS News legal contributor Rebecca Roiphe. Rebecca, good morning. So this execution has actually been sort of pushed along kind of several times. Help us understand, though, what the arguments were from Marcellus's attorney, what they brought forward, and why this time around the Supreme Court was not swayed.
There were two arguments, Anne-Marie, that the lawyers made this time. The first one was that Marcellus did not receive a fair trial because the prosecutors wrongfully excluded a juror based on that juror's race. The second argument was that the prosecutors destroyed the only evidence that could possibly exculpate Marcellus in this case. And so those two arguments failed in the Missouri Supreme Court. What's left now is just one last chance with the U.S. Supreme Court.
I found it interesting sort of reading some of what the justices had to say, and some of their phrasing, maybe you can explain to me, but it was essentially, I see nothing here that would prove his innocence, which I thought was an interesting way to phrase it, because I thought it would be, I see nothing here that would, I don't know, somehow I thought that the phrasing would be different, but I guess at this point, the conclusion of the court is that he is guilty and you need evidence to prove otherwise.
Right. I mean, once somebody has been convicted, the jurors have decided, 12 jurors have decided that he's guilty of this crime, then, that presumption that we normally have that people are innocent shifts. That said, the idea that we might execute somebody who is potentially innocent is itself troubling. And I think that's what you're picking up on, the idea that there might be one possibility. And especially in a case like this, where there is, significant evidence that prosecutors themselves contributed to the loss of the only evidence that could exculpate this defendant. It's troubling, and that those prosecutors themselves have joined with the defendant's lawyers in an attempt to stay the execution is remarkable, and something that should give the courts pause here, I think, but have not.
Really quickly, any other options for him?
Well, he has one last option with the U.S. Supreme Court. He's asked for a stay of his execution based on that argument, the constitutional argument that the juror was wrongfully excluded due to race. We have not yet heard from the Supreme Court. He is scheduled to be executed, as you said, later today. So, we're waiting that last minute, the response to that last minute petition.
All right, Rebecca, thank you very much.
Sales are hard to make, but royalties, on the other hand, are not. Let me.
So, and I want y'all to know about them commercial things. They been targeting people with certain commercials. So the commercials that popped up, those are private companies that's pushing for their stuff. I'm going to look up Governor Mike Pence and see what is he doing. Mike Parson. Why? Who is Governor Mike Parson? He haven't even shown his face. If you ain't from Missouri, I guess you won't know who that is. Okay, this is Governor Mike Parson right here.
After Missouri Governor Mike Parson.
I mean, because it looked like to me, I thought Governor Mike Parson don't exist. From the way that these things is looking. All right, here you go. Here go Governor Mike Parson.
After Missouri Governor Mike Parson removed $1 billion from the spending plan lawmakers sent him, the General Assembly is giving the vetoes mixed reviews. Our Missouri Chief Capitol Bureau reporter Emily Manley explains why some are on board and others are not.
Parson cut more than 170 items from the budget, saying he's protecting the taxpayers' dime and eliminating unnecessary pet projects. Some lawmakers say they need to be called back to Jefferson City for a special session to fund the state through the rest of the year, while others say it can wait.
I believe the budget that we passed will sufficiently fund everything that we had outlined, and then the cuts taken into consideration as well.
For weeks, the budget was at an impasse in the General Assembly.
It's concerning that we don't have a budget, in my opinion, that can last a full year. And you can thank the House and Freedom Caucus members for that.
Lawmakers back in May pointing fingers as they approved a nearly $52 billion budget just hours before the deadline.
And yes, we will be back here for a special session to have an emergency supplemental. Whether that's before the end of the year or not, I don't know. But the governor has already said it's going to have to happen.
The governor calling the budget sent to him disingenuous and problematic, leaving him to veto $1 billion out of the spending plan.
There's just a lot of overspending. I think there was over 600 earmarks in the budget. There was a very high number this year.
Some Republicans agreeing with Parson, saying the budget was misleading.
But it was really smoke and mirrors, because when you looked at what was happening, there were one-time allocations that are ongoing expenses.
It seemed to me Governor Mike Parson, he okay with Marcel Williams and all of the other people that's being put to death, because I mean, from the looks of it, I called the number, no answer. I don't know. Has anybody got an answer from the governor? Has he made any public appearance in regarding to what's going on inside of this prison? Hold on, let me see if Governor Mike Parson ever said anything about this right here. The Congresswoman Bush urges Governor Mike Parson. So let's Go here.
And Cori Bush is taking.
Governor Cori Bush. My goodness. This
And Cori Bush
cold.
is taking the plea to save a Missouri inmate's life to Washington. Marcellus Williams is set to be executed next week for the murder of a former Post-Dispatch reporter back in the 90s. Monday, the Missouri Supreme Court will hear that case and determine whether to stop the execution. We're told Governor Parson will likely make a decision on clemency by Monday. The governor, however, has not granted clemency for anyone on death row while in office.
Within the last 4 decades, only 4 individuals on death row have been exonerated in Missouri. Since 1973, at least 200 people have been exonerated from death row in the U.S. A 2014 study estimated that at least 4% of those sentenced to death are innocent, a majority of whom are black and brown. I am urging Governor Parson not to let another innocent man be murdered at the hands of the state. He must heed this call.
Congresswoman Bush is also co-sponsoring the Federal Death Penalty Prohibition Act. It would ban the death penalty for any violation of federal law.
Comrade Kamala Harris doesn't have much to offer.
All right, so let's go back to what Governor Mike Parson is in, what he into right now. Because he ain't doing nothing about this. He just sitting back. Look like to me. Why is everything falling on Marcel? He ain't the one that's saying he don't want to die. He ain't the one that's just quiet, and not saying, hey. They blaming him like, let me see if he gave a response. This crazy, man. Response. It looked like to me that, if you, as a leader, you supposed to. That's why people don't believe in this stuff, man. This the reason why people done gave up on y'all stuff. This the reason why, because all this going on and nothing from the governor. Governor, state, this is a state of emergency, governor. The state to carry out execution. Okay, this KMBC 9 right here. Another news broadcasting station. Do this man watch the news? Do he listen to what's going on in the country? What kind of leader is you? You ain't even listening to what's going on in your own country. Or is you running away with money? What's going on, man? They gonna waste money anyway. It ain't like they trying to save money or nothing. They gonna waste money anyway. This right here is a person's life. You can waste money tomorrow. I don't understand this, man. Y'all, how you a leader? What kind of leader is you? Y'all wasting money. Y'all gonna waste it anyway. You mean tell me you don't hear what's going on in America, man? This cold-blooded, man, this cold-blooded, man. Y'all finna sit there and let this man be murdered. The man ain't did this. He didn't commit the crime. What you gonna let him? So, okay, so if if y'all could just break the law, then what is it for any? If y'all ain't got to keep the law, why we got to keep the law? My goodness. If y'all ain't got to keep the law, why we got to keep it? KSDK News. This is Brother Marcellus' son right here. This Brother Marcellus' son. All this stuff going on. And then see now, it's going to be something else people can say about you, Mr. Governor. When America, in your state, Missouri, where you is supposed to be governing, this something else? You want to have this scandal on you too?
This morning, time is running out for America.
I hope a miracle happens, you know what I'm saying?
This morning, time is running out for a miracle. In just 12 hours from now, Marcellus Williams will be executed, but there is a final push to keep him alive. Our Mercedes McKay joins us live from University City right now. Mercedes, what is taking place?
Rennie, well, this morning we're live outside the University City Police Department, where the investigation into this case started over 25 years ago. Right now, a group against the Missouri death penalty plans to deliver more than 1 million signatures to Jefferson City in hopes the U.S. Supreme Court steps in. Marcellus Williams is set to be executed for the murder of newspaper reporter Felicia Gale. She was repeatedly stabbed during a burglary in her U-City home in 1998. Now, almost 24 hours ago, the Missouri Supreme Court rejected to halt the execution despite efforts by Williams' attorneys. They argued errors in jury selections and pointed to reports of the murder weapon being mishandled. This morning, the group Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty are still fighting for his freedom.
We're definitely going to continue to hold out whatever, monicum of hope it is. We'll definitely continue to hold that and stand in solidarity with Mr. Williams and his family, which is also very important right now to make sure, that they're okay, because they, this situation is creating co-victims. So definitely hold them in solidarity and support them as well.
Williams is set to be executed tonight at 6 o'clock in Bonne Terre. And coming up in our next half hour, we'll hear more from Williams' son and how he's feeling ahead of his father's death. Live in University City, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
Thank you, Mercedes.
Okay, so y'all can, like I said, subscribe to the news channels. They said they got more updates on these things. My goodness, man. I mean, if somebody still got hope in this country, I don't know what to tell you. The country's showing you they self. I mean, ain't nothing to hope in. Well, I'm gonna play this song while I look for some more, while I wait for more updates. To some that done went on. Here's the name of 3 off the top of the head. Jay Green, Soap Money, Gerald Lewis, I know that we gotta go someday. But somehow we learn to live with the pain that won't go away. In the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. In the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. In the good, in the good, in the good, man. In the good, in the good, in the good, man. Your turn, Jitty boy, say it for me, man. President, so I ain't never met a real drug lord. 94 crime bills, school to prison pipeline, massive concentration for destruction of a nation, instituted integration. While we bear the bank for money, while the church be making billion. Who we be? We so captive, we reject our father and a mother. Peter popping off early in the morning, man. With some tap water saying it's a miracle. Whoa, my brother out of the gates, it's a medical. Where them hustle hard, but I do loud. One try separated by the distance and the time. It was done by the sign.
side, east side, west side, every side. There's been a great divide. Guam, Yasharala. In the ghetto, return to the covenant. In the ghetto, ghetto. In the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. In the ghetto, in the ghetto, in the ghetto. In the hood, in the hood, in the hood, man. In the hood, in the hood, in the hood, man. Your turn, GD boy, let them hear you rap.
Return to the covenant and get to cap.
I'm trying to tell you, we need each other, family. Let's not separate. Let's come together in love.
And I know
There'll be many that don't want to do right. Just like on life, like can't get right. Listen, but to you who understand the call, come together, Mashpaka, all of y'all, and repent. Let he that have the ear to hear, let him hear. The children need you too. The mothers need you. The brothers need you.
Wait a minute, y'all. I'm talking about this boy's you.
We done spread from the east to the Spain low. And that's a looking at a screen like they don't know. Now they went to Africana, say I'm Igbo. Taking 30 shekels, selling out the Negro. Trying to be a superhero, selling out the Negro. I'd rather be a doorkeeper than be burned with the devil low. That's stupid, selling out your own kind. Rather be on y'all side. Y'all how shy, break these chains. And give me the brand new name. Underlay, arriba, up quickly, just like speed up. We on a mission, man, we gotta go through. Babylon to Babylon, we gotta stop that through. I don't wanna be a hero of the word, only gotta be a doer. Seeking for my armor, wisdom. And it won't be long. You gon' look for me down here. I'll be gone. Soon one morning, and it won't be long. You gon' look for me down here. I'll be gone. Red and my nigga brother, we done fell down. Through the Moors at the gate, and she back to the ground singing Kumbaya. Yahabasha say the firstborn of the father who he raised from the grave by nature of a strange language in the fierce. Look it up, fulfilled prophecy is written in the book. You best get your mind right and look at the sign. And put a red set your red born, she out your mind. Oh my brother, keep it brother, richer of a pole. Cause that's the war, only soul cities get low. Shake the roster, I can let the family know. I got a draw 9 man, so we gotta go. Gotta bear fruit for the get of the jubilee. Don't bear fruit, then you won't get nothing. And don't you give away your birthright for a pot of beans or some yellow rice. But yeah, you heard me.
Matthew 25. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose, and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man travelling into a far country, who called his own servants, and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh, and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came, and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went, and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick, and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal.
I'm trying to tell you to run hard as you can. Never give up. Where I'm from Polk County, Florida. Home village car shows, cat let like the sport. We ain't have a lot of money, so we stayed real close to the cemetery, man. Keep the mosquitoes out the door. Mississippi selling flip, boy, they were playing dip, playing tackle football with my homeboy. Them. Now everybody wanna fight that we forget how to smile. Too many sell lots in this world, I'm like, wow. Do you wanna be smart or you wanna be hard? It's the devil in the hood, just a tearing it apart. You're in a home making more, cause some hearts that got cold. Come together, my people, yeah, on the 4-4. Go ahead, hit the gas, put the pedal to the floor. I help you pull your head, everybody got a pad. If a thunderstorm come, man, stay fast still. If you wanna give up, man, hold your head up and dash, 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 dash. I ain't got it all together, but don't wanna be a rebel. Never be a sellout, not a cane on my brother. You compare to do a mile, that we gotta do too. You will never be alone when you're standing in the truth. I give salute to the fathers that stay in their child life. Though your harbor shy battle, we still gotta fight. And my condolences to the mothers that the losses of the daughter in this evil cold world that don't care if you survive. Bobbing and weaving on the fifth, cause the rent bill due. Dealing with people talking loud, but don't wanna help you. Got DCF at your house, cause the same people call. Lies spread across town, talking about you like a dog. Go ahead, hit the gas, put the pedal to the floor. I'll help you hold your head, cause everybody got a pass. When the thunderstorm come, man, stay fast still. If you wanna give up, just hold your head up and dash, 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 dash.
Yeah, so you see, he's still counting down on him. I'm just gonna listen to more music with y'all and see what he decide to do. Is he gonna respond to all of the people that's asking him to stop this? Is he gonna do what the judge, whatever, the person that keeps shutting down the case? I guess we're gonna see. Anyway, I don't know what he gonna do. But I'm gonna go ahead and play one of my throwback songs. Cause they won't let you play nobody else's song on the thing without hitting your channel unless you sign up with certain program, and I'm not signed up with them, so I'll play another one of my songs. If it weren't for that, then I have a whole playlist going here. But here we go. I hope they do right, man. You never know no more.
I signed my name on it. W-I-T-U-J. What you think of Jesus? Come on. Some people don't comprehend, so I'm finna rap again. Hey. I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. So understand I wrote this song if you a fan of mine. Appreciation if you listen to see Junior Crown. I know somebody bound to hear me cause we all grind. If the blind lead the blind, it's a death sign. I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. Come get hell until I'm set free. Paradise, living the life some people won't see. Bright lights, no time for rest. Will I see peace? Elevated in pain, but saved by the teeth. No perfect picture, still a richer, some don't understand. I'm a man, but in heaven with the Son of Man. Saw me standing on the stage with the Williams brothers, giving glory to the Father with a testimony. Hold on, don't stop for more than a conqueror. I ain't finished on rapping until it's all accomplished. Loving me, Satan tempting me to slang dope. I step on fire every day, some people won't know how it feels for a son. Trust me, I know. No laugh it at me cause I wanna do it God's way. That's why I say the things I say cause I don't wanna stray. That's why I rhyme the way I live and I ain't getting paid. But say, I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. So understand I wrote this song if you a fan of mine. Appreciation if you listen to see Junior Crown. I know somebody bound to hear me cause we all grind. If the blind lead the blind, it's a death sign. I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. Come take the journey in the mind of someone who suffer. Trying to make it in the world, but it's getting rougher. Say I ain't trying to be a fake, nothing like a bluffer. I say the past that's behind us was full of trouble. It's even harder for me, cause I'm a black brother. They say it's easy being me, I don't buy a rubber. Cause I'm striving for purity, but I wanna love her. It's kinda hard to comprehend when you are another. See, I don't wanna be bound, but that's another struggle. So me, I stay on the run to cut another record. The promo will fetch your spirit, double on the cover. You see this record here is free, taking past another. Cause look, the album on sale, so cop it if you rather. This is a token of love, don't toss it in the dumpster. The revolution is clear, I'm a son of Jesus. I seek the glory of God, I'm not a man pleaser. I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. So understand I wrote this song if you a fan of mine. Appreciation if you listen to see Junior Crown. I know somebody bound to hear me cause we all grind. If the blind lead the blind, it's a death sign. I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. Come on.
Ain't no change.
I sign my name on it. W-I-T-U-J. What you think of Jesus? Come on, come on. Some people don't comprehend, so I'm finna rap again. Hey, hey. I know you heard this before, but it's real this time. Come take the journey in the mind of a friend of mine. So understand I wrote this song if you a fan of mine.
You know the words say, and they were saved by the skills of the river, unbound the cross. You see, we ain't gotta get our name in the book. We need to try to keep it in there. I can see in my eyes. My chest, so don't know how to express. Walking down this road, road to pass every test. I can't eat, y'all, I can't sleep. Y'all save me from the water, cause I'm going there deeply. People keep talking, always deceiving. Trying to break it down, but you gotta keep believing. Ripped out the Bible, now they say they Peter Pan. Praying for my people, cause we all gotta stand. I wonder what's a lollipop that took my grandma and my uncle's side. It's a cold world, trying to bring the truth out. Get paid, took the check to be a sell out. Lying on the word, but it ain't no other way out. To my other walk, gotta never give up. Keep across the world, everywhere, keep your eyes up. Pressing to the mark, yeah, man, and how you calling? Hey, come and see a man that'll live it when you're falling, guy. I need, oh, now, great God,
like wool as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like a defined brass as if they burned in a furnace. And his voice is the sound of many waters. Got hit. Now we're doing things that don't make sense. It's like we power down begging for the pit. I guess it's cause so many people get it lit up. Self-defense, jail time is we set up. If you wanna be successful, do you shut up or let up? Or give up on the family cause we get it wet up? Being pacified by delusion, with confusion as a resolution. Can we stop being prostituted by the beast? Start loving one another, knowing we the least. He said my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. Check out the other, it's a fox in the island. Hit the blind, lead the blind, they'll both fall in the ditch. But if the people who are called by the name of the Most High turn from their wicked ways, he can take away a switch. Better than the crest cleanse, he can take away the stain in the whole stench. And wash your mind from the lies that disguise in the doctrine of Willie Lynch. The bitch, the brother gets a sister by the light in the dark skin color. Printed us a Negro slave Bible. Is your name Toby or Kente? Are we only born to be chattel slave? I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. It's an octave speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray you high, you make me bold. Yeah, they try to drop me from my faith. Throw me in that war, but guess who get the praise? I how you got my back, and I ain't scared of none. They trying to knock me out, boy, I never run. I'm running for my king, and you can't stop it, man. I'm coming real strong, that you can't ignore. This spirit battle, so put your flesh down. I'ma ride out on the devil head. I ain't never scared. Watch me square up. Negro, we the people of the Bible. We done mess around and read them scrolls. We the kingdom of peace, let's go. Yahweh got a back, and we the strongest one. With God inside of us, we already won. Greater we see this within us, the heat that's in the world, and ain't no weapon formed against us ever gonna prosper. Your eyes ain't seen, or your ears have heard the things that Yah has prepared for us children. They ain't been determined, man, it's already written in the old covenant and the brick. How to shine, man. Don't we wait for the kingdom to go down for us to die in the sky. In the meantime, gotta keep the commandment. If we say we ain't seeing, we deceive ourselves, and the truth ain't in us, y'all say. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, speaking loud as a cannon to the walls of Babylon fall down. I pray Yahweh make me bold as an octave, fall down. Be adults, not children. All these movements against you. Family should be more important. And yeah, for sure, I agree with you. Black lives do matter, but the lives don't. Do we hate the word now? It's too much going on for us to be sitting here trying to put each other down. Double tone talk. They say black lives matter, then they say LGBT matter more. Everybody claim they got their own truth, so the whole truth they ignore. For the poor to be ignored and the people's blood to be spilled in the streets. No justice, ain't no peace. We scream and still seem defeat. No time to get your mom, just appease the one that did the deed. I'm not just here to make you think, I'm here to make you hold your brother and sister. And tell them never give up, hold your head up, be strong until the end. No trouble don't last always, and the sun gon' shine again.
With Joseph, so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and of all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. With me in charge, he told her, "My master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. One day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. When she saw that he had left his cloak in her hand and had run out of the house, she called her household servants. "Look," she said to them, "this Hebrew has been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." She kept his cloak beside her until his master came home. Then she told him this story: "That Hebrew slave you brought us came to me to make sport of me, but as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." When his master heard the story, his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me." He burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Genesis 39. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with him. Genesis 40. Sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the same prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. After they had been in custody for some time, each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were being held in prison, had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. Genesis 39. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. The Lord was with Joseph, so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. From the time he put him in charge of his household and of all that he owned, the Lord blessed the household of the Egyptian because of Joseph. The blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had, both in the house and in the field. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care. With Joseph in charge, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. With me in charge, he told her, my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. One day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. When she saw that he had left his cloak in her hand and had run out of the house, she called her household servants. "Look," she said to them, "this Hebrew has been brought to us to make sport of us. He came in here to sleep with me, but I screamed. When he heard me scream for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." She kept his cloak beside her until his master came home. Then she told him this story: "That Hebrew slave you brought us came to me to make sport of me, but as soon as I screamed for help, he left his cloak beside me and ran out of the house." When his master heard the story his wife told him, saying, "This is how your slave treated me," he burned with anger. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. But while Joseph was there in the prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care, because the Lord was with Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Genesis 40. Sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the same prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. After they had been in custody for some time, each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were being held in prison, had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody with him in his master's house, "Why do you look so sad today?" "We both had dreams," they answered, "but there is no one to interpret them." Then Joseph said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams." So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream. He said to him, "In my dream I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and put the cup in his hand." "This is what it means," Joseph said to him. "The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. I was forcibly carried off from the land of the Hebrews, and even here I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon." When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given a favorable interpretation, he said to Joseph, "I too had a dream. On my head were 3 baskets of bread. In the top basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head." "This is what it means," Joseph said. "The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days Pharaoh will lift off your head and impale your body on a pole, and the birds will eat away your flesh." Now the 3rd day was Pharaoh's birthday, and he gave a feast for all his officials. He lifted up the heads of the chief cupbearer and the chief baker in the presence of his officials. Deuteronomy 19. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations, whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their cities and in their houses, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the coasts of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live, whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past. As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die. He shall flee unto one of those cities, and live, lest the avenger of blood pursue the slayer, while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee, beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbour's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother, any man to testify against him that which is wrong. Then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother, judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear, and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Deuteronomy 19. When the Lord thy God hath cut off the nations, whose land the Lord thy God giveth thee, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their cities and in their houses, thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee in the midst of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. Thou shalt prepare thee a way, and divide the coasts of thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee to inherit, into 3 parts, that every slayer may flee thither. And this is the case of the slayer, which shall flee thither, that he may live, whoso killeth his neighbor ignorantly, whom he hated not in time past. As when a man goeth into the wood with his neighbor to hew wood, and his hand fetcheth a stroke with the axe to cut down the tree, and the head slippeth from the helve, and lighteth upon his neighbor, that he die. He shall flee unto one of those cities, and live, lest the avenger of blood pursue the slayer, while his heart is hot, and overtake him, because the way is long, and slay him, whereas he was not worthy of death, inasmuch as he hated him not in time past. Wherefore I command thee, saying, Thou shalt separate 3 cities for thee. And if the Lord thy God enlarge thy coast, as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, and give thee all the land which he promised to give unto thy fathers, if thou shalt keep all these commandments to do them, which I command thee this day, to love the Lord thy God, and to walk ever in his ways, then shalt thou add 3 cities more for thee, beside these 3, that innocent blood be not shed in thy land, which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance, and so blood be upon thee. But if any man hate his neighbor, and lie in wait for him, and rise up against him, and smite him mortally, that he die, and fleeth into one of these cities, then the elders of his city shall send and fetch him thence, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. Thine eye shall not pity him, but thou shalt put away the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, that it may go well with thee. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbour's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy God giveth thee to possess it. 1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin. In any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of 2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition, and behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear, and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Revelation 20. Deuteronomy 20. And I saw an angel come down from heaven. Thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, bottomless pit, and seest horses, a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection. On such the second death hath no power, but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up on the breadth of the earth. Ezekiel 38. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people, against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely all of them. Thou shalt ascend, and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou, and all thy bands, and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord God, It shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations which have gotten cattle and goods, that dwell in the midst of the land, Sheba and Dedan, and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, Art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take a great spoil? Isaiah 18. Woe to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, that sendeth ambassadors by the sea, even in vessels of bulrushes upon the waters, saying, Go, ye swift messengers, to a nation scattered and peeled, to a people terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden down, whose land the rivers have spoiled. All ye inhabitants of the world, and dwellers on the earth, see ye, when he lifteth up an ensign on the mountains, and when he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye. For so the Lord said unto me, I will take my rest, and I will consider in my dwelling place like a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest. For afore the harvest, when the bud is perfect, and the sour grape is ripening in the flower, he shall both cut off the sprigs with pruning hooks, and take away and cut down the branches. They shall be left together unto the fowls of the mountains, and to the beasts of the earth. And the fowls shall summer upon them, and all the beasts of the earth shall winter upon them. In that time shall the present be brought unto the Lord of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, and from a people terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden under foot, whose land the rivers have spoiled, to the place of the name of the Lord of hosts, the Mount Zion. Isaiah 18. Woe to the land shadowing with wings, which is beyond the rivers of Matthew. Micah 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields, and take them by violence, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your necks, neither shall ye go haughtily, for this time is evil. In that day shall one take up a parable against you, and lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, We be utterly spoiled. He hath changed the portion of my people. How hath he removed it from me? Turning away, he hath divided our fields. Therefore thou shalt have none that shall cast a cord by lot in the congregation of the Lord. Prophesy ye not, say they to them that prophesy, they shall not prophesy to them, that they shall not take shame. O thou that art named the house of Jacob, is the Spirit of the Lord straitened? Are these his doings? Do not my words do good to him that walketh uprightly? Even of late my people is risen up as an enemy. Ye pull off the robe with the garment from them that pass by securely, as men averse from war. The women of my people have ye cast out from their pleasant houses. From their children have ye taken away my glory for ever. Arise ye, and depart. For this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. If a man walking in the Spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of this people. I will surely assemble, O Jacob, all of thee. I will surely gather the remnant of Israel. I will put them together as the sheep of Bozrah, as the flock in the midst of their fold. They shall make great noise by reason of the multitude of men. The breaker is come up before them. They are broken up, and have passed through the gate, and are gone out by it, and their king shall pass before them, and the Lord on the head of them.
Enrich
Micah 2.
and purulent.
Woe to them that devise iniquity, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning
They got rich. Let's go back to Brother Marcel. And I'm going to let y'all see. Can anybody tell you that America is not racist after the day? Can anybody tell you that America is not racist after the day? All of the countries of the earth. Nobody can tell you that America is not racist after the day. To all of the countries on the planet of the earth, nobody can tell you that America is not racist after the day. Time left until execution. Marcellus Williams is scheduled to be for execution in Missouri on September 24th, even though there is no reliable evidence proving that he committed the crime for which he was sentenced to death. The state destroyed or corrupted the evidence that could conclusively prove his innocence, and the available DNA and other forensic crime scene evidence does not match him. The DNA and other forensic crime scene evidence does not match him. DNA and other forensic crime scene evidence does not match him. I wish I could speak it in every tone known to man. In Spanish, not, no. In Assyrian, lo. In ancient Hebrew, la. It does not match him. The DNA and other forensic crime scene evidence does not match him. Not 1800. This is not in the 1500s that this is going on. 1800, 1500, 1800. But this is going on in 2024. Conviction date. Accused, he pled not guilty. Causes of conviction. Informants. One of them came back and recanted and said they bore false witness. Death penalty case. Yes. Race of victim. Caucasian. Status. Active. Person that did it. Crime scene evidence does not match him. Him. Crime scene evidence does not match him. 8 hours, 48 minutes. Well, 47 minutes coming up. Marcellus Williams is scheduled for execution in Missouri on September 24th, even though there is no reliable evidence proving that he committed the crime for which he was sentenced to death. The state, not Marcellus. Marcellus did not do this. Marcellus did not destroy or corrupt the evidence that can conclusively prove his innocence. But it says the state did it. The ones that got him in the prison, the ones that's holding him in the prison, the ones that refuse to allow him to bring this to the attention of the court without being on the death sentence. The state destroyed or corrupted the evidence that could have conclusively proved his innocence. And available DNA that they didn't know about has just popped up out of the blue. Like a poof in the wind, it popped up and now it's available and they won't hear that. DNA and other forensic crime scene evidence does not match him. They've got evidence. And the shoe size of the person that murdered the woman was not his shoe size. The hair that was found does not match his hair. The blood that was found does not match his blood. The fingerprints that was found, if they found any, does not match him. Because they said other people touched on the evidence, but his fingerprints was not on the evidence. The female that came and said that this man left from her, there was his ex, and cheated on her with the lady. He did not cheat on her with that woman. There is no DNA proof that he lay with her. There is no evidence that he touched the knife. There is no evidence that his shoe size is the shoe size that they found on the scene. There is no evidence that this man stabbed her 40-something times to death. The husband said that this man right here should not be put to death. The family of the victim also, along with the husband, said that this man right here should not be put to death. The husband of the woman that died said that this man should not be put to death. The family said that this man should not be put to death. If they gonna do anything, if they gonna open up this case in 2001 and put this man to death because he reopened the case to clear his name and get innocence, put him back on regular prison time. Let him do out his time and do false time in prison for something he didn't do, rather than killing him for something he didn't do. Crime scene evidence does not match him. Particularly when the victim's family believes life without parole is the appropriate sentence. It is not too late for Governor Mike Parson to ensure that Missouri does not take an innocent man's life. You are setting a precedent. The governor should exercise his authority. Now, Mrs. Kamala Harris, and all of y'all that's running for president, this can be y'all time to shine. It is 8 hours, 43 minutes, and seconds left. What are y'all gonna do? Ignore the people that's talking about this? Mike Parson, what are you gonna do, sir? Sentence, death. The state, not him, but the state, destroyed or corrupted the evidence that could have conclusively proved his innocence. And the available DNA and other forensic crime scene evidence does not match him. There is far too much uncertainty in this case to allow Mr. Williams to be executed, particularly when the victim's family believe life without parole is the appropriate sentence. What you got to say about this? All the people that's telling us to vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, what do you got to say about this? Is there any president nominees that has anything to say about this? And he's not the only one that's on death row. Are y'all going to look into these cases? Are y'all going to wait till all the time run up and tell us we did this for y'all? Everybody in the world, if y'all clicked on this video, y'all will see. Well, you will see. But if you stay and if nobody click on this video, nobody gonna see. And they gonna keep on going on with the same thing. Stop Missouri from executing an innocent man. What say you, America? What say you, Alabama? What about all of the activists? What say all of y'all? What about the people that say it's not about race? Is it just about death and destruction? What is it? You gonna let this man die? What are you gonna do, America? You got P. Diddy? You say that you want us to trust the prosecution and stuff to go with him? What about this? Who gonna believe you? What say you about Marcellus Williams? The people that's focused on Diddy. Diddy got to go through a court process. Let's talk about this right here. You can make money tomorrow. You can make your idols tomorrow. Because you can make rocks money. It's in your head. What about him? What about feed the homeless, feed the children? What do y'all got to say about this? It's 9 hours to go now. I'm not saying that nobody ain't calling in, but I want y'all to call in. That's why I'm pressing this like this. I'm going to go through my timeline and see what do the family got to say about this. Not saying that nobody is not saying nothing important. We all have our call, but I'm finna look through here. They go Elder Malcolm X. What we doing? What are we doing? And he not the only one that's going through something. Look at YSL trial. What are we doing? Little black known history. We need to learn that. What are we doing? What are we doing? Look at these two. Just eating, just blanking our country up. She saying something. No blacks welcome. Brother Phil saying something. Young Dolph murder. They saying something about what's going on with us. We not swinging on trees around here. The lounge, this sister is speaking on something. Are we swinging on trees around here? What's going on? Where's the dangerous monkeys at? DNA prove Marcellus Williams might be innocent. Judge decides he is to die. There go a sister right there. She's saying something. 55-year-old. Keep going, sister. Keep going, sister. Remove your home. Okay. I guess that's okay. Only one culture in Africa. Only one culture in North America. This sister is saying something. Snoop. Everybody is crying out. Look, tropical storm in Tampa right now. There's a tropical storm going on in Tampa right now. Israel devastates Hezbollah with massive airstrikes. Yo. Little known black history. Our history has been hidden from us. Like the man from Arabia said, it's been hidden from you. Negroes. I don't know what they doing. Young Dolph murder suspect, shocking. He trying to help the youth. And they go to news channel, CBS, 3 hours ago. I know I can click in the news station. Brother Phil said that he has a reason why I respect that. Jasmine Crockett. We are all actually under attack. Let's see what this means.
All right, before the break, I told you about the dangerous history of a current Republican lie about abortion. It's a subject with which my next guest, the Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Texas, is very familiar. Remember, the case for Roe v. Wade in the 1970s began in Texas and in Representative Crockett's current district. Decades later, Texas dismantled that progress by becoming the first state to successfully impose a near-total ban on abortion months before the Dobbs decision was handed down. When Representative Crockett was a state representative, she was directly involved in fighting Texas's draconian abortion laws. Congresswoman Crockett herself joins me now to talk about this and more. Congresswoman, thanks for being here. Lots of things about that debate surprised me, including the brazen lie about this and, of course, people eating pets. But it is effective. Donald Trump says this stuff, and we can prove all we want. I took 8 minutes there to prove that that's not true, but it works for some people.
It does. It's really frustrating because we have to fight so many just flat out lies. I think we've been talking about misinformation and disinformation. He knows he's lying. And I appreciate those in social media that have decided to literally make a mockery of him. I mean, there were so many memes that came out and said, on that debate stage, we saw a man be aborted 73 years after he was born, right? It just doesn't happen. We have laws for that. But unfortunately, it reminds me of just kind of the ignorance that typically leads the Republican Party. We know that at some time there was justification for slavery because they didn't truly understand what, quote unquote, was making us different or whatever their justifications were. But it's this idea of if I don't understand something, then I'm then just going to lash out against it. Same thing with our LGBTQIA community. And so that is one reason that as I've hit the trail, I was in Ohio as Ohio was trying to pass their issue, and it did pass, even though they put all of these different obstacles in front of it. I said, this isn't about whether or not you agree with abortion.
Right.
And I want people to be comfortable with saying, I don't necessarily agree with abortion, but if you believe in freedom, then you should absolutely be on this bandwagon, because I'm not asking you to judge me or to make decisions for me and my body that me and my doctor are going to make. But at some point in time, there is some freedom that you hold dear that there will be license to go after.
Okay. Listen. I'm going to tell you like the man said. I can't agree with that. I understand your argument, but I can't agree with that because it goes against what I believe. But I understand your argument. You make a lot of good points, but I can't agree with that. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. There's a lot going on. I'm showing y'all the channels to go and watch. To go Brother Phil, Emancipation Media, Brother K. Judah, somewhere on here. I thought I saw him earlier. There's a tropical storm going on in Tampa right now. And guess where I stay? In Florida. Let's see who else talking about Brother Marcellus, though. I'm not saying that what other people is talking about is wrong, but I'm trying to talk about Brother Marcellus. And also, y'all keep up with this trial with Young Thug, too. If some of us got to do one thing and some of us got to do another one. It ain't easy. That's why we can't always be in one place. That's why sometimes some of us feel like we're not being heard. But I'm finna go back up and go and look and see what's going on. Because, see, right now, you got some people that's talking about what the Bible say about what she was saying. And that'll be me a lot of times. But sometimes I got to switch it up and talk about something else. Now look, there go the protesters outside.
Stop stuffing sopping wet bags of ice into your cooler. I've got a brand new fridge on wheels that keeps your food ice.
Well, anti-death penalty advocates protesting a decision by Missouri's governor to not call off a man's execution set for tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us here at 9 I'm Mike Landis.
And I'm Lauren Inman. Marcellus Williams is set to face the death penalty for the 1998 murder of St. Louis social worker Leisha Gale, unless a court steps in. Fox 49's Jared Henry is live at the federal courthouse in Springfield after observing today's protest. Jared.
Yeah, this protest was organized by the Party for Socialism and Liberation. It was planned before Governor Parsons' decision came down today, but the group tells me that they wanted to come out here and make sure that their voices were heard.
I don't know what word we need to come up with, but there should definitely be a word for whenever the state knowingly executes an innocent person.
Lucy Mayfield is with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. She organized this protest. The group believes Marcellus Williams should not face the death penalty. Mayfield says the evidence does not link Williams to the crime.
There is absolutely no reason to believe that he did this. And at that point, our justice system says innocent until proven guilty.
Williams is convicted of breaking into Leisha Gale's St. Louis home and stabbing her to death in August of 1998. In the years since the conviction, Williams has maintained his innocence. During the trial, there were concerns that original members of the prosecution team mishandled evidence, including the murder weapon. Sam Howard attended the protest. He tells me Governor Parson.
Hey, y'all, I'll be right back. I hear something going on outside. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Should look at the case closer.
Governor Parsons should, do his job and, reevaluate his decision on this and make sure that these Missouri circuit courts aren't making decisions based on political bias or their own personal feelings, rather make decisions based on the litany of evidence and new technology that could be used to actually get the truth.
Governor Parson released a statement after the decision was made, saying, "Nothing from the real facts of this case have led me to believe in Mr. Williams' innocence. As such, Mr. Williams' punishment will be carried out as ordered by the Supreme Court." The victim's family has also spoken out against this execution. There will also be another protest held tomorrow in Jefferson City that some of these protesters plan on driving up to go to. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Jared Henry, Fox 49 News.
Stop stuffing sopping wet bags of ice into your cooler. I've got a brand new fridge on wheels that keeps your food ice cold without ever needing ice. It may look like an ordinary cooler, but trust me, you've never seen anything like this. And right here, you can get our introductory pricing by simply clicking the link below. But you can't wait around. The last version of this solar cooler sold out in 24 hours after only a couple of text messages. And that version, it couldn't do half the things this new model can. So when people find out about this futuristic ice chest, there could be a mad rush. So don't wait around for me.
Yeah, this protest was organized by the Party for Socialism and Liberation. It was planned before Governor Parsons' decision came down today, but the group tells me that they wanted to come out here and make sure that their voices were heard.
I don't know what word we need to come up with, but there should definitely be a word for whenever the state knowingly executes an innocent person.
Lucy Mayfield is with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. She organized this protest. The group believes Marcellus Williams should not face the death penalty. Mayfield says the evidence does not link Williams to the crime.
There is absolutely no reason to believe that he did this. And at that point, our justice system says innocent until proven guilty.
Hey, fam. Here you go, Val.
Hey, everybody. Make sure you guys support my husband platform and subscribe to his channel.
All right. I'm finna let it finish. My wife wanted to tell y'all that.
Williams is convicted of breaking into Leisha Gale's St. Louis home and stabbing her to death in August of 1998. In the years since the conviction, Williams has maintained his innocence. During the trial, there were concerns that original members of the prosecution team mishandled evidence, including the murder weapon. Sam Howard attended the protest. He tells me Governor Parson should look at the case closer.
Governor Parsons should, do his job and, reevaluate his decision on this and make sure that these Missouri circuit courts aren't making decisions based on political bias or their own personal feelings, rather make decisions based on the litany of evidence and new technology that could be used to actually get the truth.
Governor Parson released a statement after the decision was made, saying, "Nothing from the real facts of this case have led me to believe in Mr. Williams' innocence. As such, Mr. Williams' punishment will be carried out as ordered by the Supreme Court."
The victim's family has also spoken out against this execution. There will also be another protest held tomorrow in Jefferson City that some of these protesters plan on driving up to go to. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Jared Henry, Fox 49 News.
Stop stuffing sopping wet bags of ice into your cooler. I've got a brand new fridge on wheels that keeps your
Let me go ahead. I'm finna look through some more stuff, fam. Shalom, Sister Naomi. Thank you for coming. And Sister Coco, thank you for coming earlier. I appreciate the love and support, fam. So I'm just surfing through. We could hear updates. This is one of the Tampa mayor provide update on storm. I'm pretty sure that if the mayor know what's going on, that they're gonna want to speak on this as well. But I'm gonna go to that later and check on it, and then I'll be back on there. But I'm trying to see what the mayor of so let me click in there. Let's see what the mayor, did the mayor say anything yet? Now, Missouri execution of Marcellus, the person that came, the congresswoman came and spoke. That was the congresswoman that came that spoke on this one. All right. And so the governor state to carry out execution of Marcellus. I'm telling y'all some good news channels. KSDK News. I got to put up Brother Field African Diaspora News channel. For news. And I told y'all about the other channels that y'all can go and glean the word from, Brother K. Judah and them. And if you want to find their channels, all you got to do is go through my on my page, and you will see all of their channels. But here go the news channels. Missouri execution of Marcellus Williams. 13 more in 24 minutes ago. So this was recorded 24 minutes ago. They jumped on it and they responded promptly. This one was recorded 17 hours ago. They jumped on it quick. I don't know if they're going to give any updates. Some Fox News is really trying to get this out here. This was 2 hours ago. I heard about it through the brother that I first shared. I can't Indisputable. I heard it from him, and I heard it from the Real News Network first. And the third one, the third one I heard it from. They have never given me any problems. They believe in freedom of speech, I reckon, because they have not bothered my page. So right here, this is Missouri governor and state Supreme Court both refuse to halt the execution. Let's go on here and see what this elderly woman from Humankind, from Japhet, which is our cousin in them. Japhet is our cousin in them. Let's see what they got to say.
Hey everyone, so the team decided to do a fun competition. If you're able to make a donation today, even if it's just a few dollars, and if you're selected, then Governor Tim Walz and I get to meet you in person on the road. Since launching this campaign, we've seen tremendous momentum on the campaign trail, and this truly is a people-powered movement. So to say thank you, we are personally inviting one lucky supporter and a friend to an all-expenses-paid trip to meet us in person. Chip in any amount to power your fight for the future, and thank you.
She didn't mention nothing about the death row.
We have breaking news update. The state of Missouri will carry out the execution of Marcellus Williams tomorrow. Marcellus Williams is the convicted murderer of the 1998 killing of Felicia Gale. In a news release, Governor Parsons says he did not.
Remember, this was 17 hours ago, so that was yesterday when they brought it out. They felt like it was important that they speak about this because they are a news network and they're covering what's going on in America. Just like all of the other brothers and sisters is covering things that's going on in America. I'm affiliated with Brother Phil Scott, Brother Kate Judah. I'm affiliated with y'all. So if y'all say something or not, I know that y'all understand and y'all is pushing that this right here be done. I'm just trying to rally all the mashpaka around on this right here. Let's pray about this. Here we go.
Not grant clemency because, quote, the facts are Mr. Williams has been found guilty, not by the governor's office, but by a jury of his peers and upheld by the courts. Joe McLean has the arguments from the courtroom when the issue went before the Missouri Supreme Court today. Joe?
Williams' attorneys claimed a prospective juror was dismissed during jury selection more than 20 years ago because he was a young black man.
He said he struck a juror in part because he was a young black man with glasses. That is unacceptable. We cannot stand for that. Just because we're hearing about it 1 month before an execution date doesn't mean that it's too late.
Attorneys for the state pushed back, saying the lower court did not breach Williams' constitutional right to a trial by jury of his peers.
Not only is that a mischaracterization, you can't even draw an inference from this record that it was race-based. And it isn't drawing an inference, it's proving it by clear and convincing evidence. They didn't prove it by any evidence, certainly not clear and convincing.
Attorneys also discussed DNA evidence found on the knife used in the fatal stabbing, tested after Williams' conviction in the early 2000s. It revealed DNA matching one of the investigators, not Williams. A lower court said because Williams was not convicted based on that evidence, it's not enough reason to retry the case. Still, even the original prosecutor on the case, Wesley Bell, who's now the Democratic candidate for Missouri's 1st Congressional District, filed a memo with the court urging for a reversal of the sentence. The case has garnered widespread public attention, including from the Innocence Project and other justice advocacy organizations. Michelle Smith co-founded Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty. She was in the courtroom as arguments were made Monday morning.
He has had his rights violated and has not gotten the due process that he should have over these 20 plus years, and it continued today.
Tech billionaire Richard Branson also bought a full-page ad in the Kansas City Star newspaper calling for Governor Parson to take action.
The Missouri Supreme Court made 2 decisions in that case, one to overrule a motion to exonerate Marcellus Williams and another to deny a motion to stop the execution. Williams is set to be executed at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
So we're coming to the finish line. We're leading in the polls and we're doing well.
Let's see what
whatever
Donald
you
Trump
can do to help us out in terms.
Let's see what Donald Trump, if he gonna mention it. Now, they pre-record these, so I don't know what Donald Trump gonna say about this. We'll see if they say anything about this. I hope that they jump on the ball and say something about this before the deadline, before the execution. But let's listen at what Mr. Donald Trump got to say. Let's see if he mentions it. But okay, we'll see. Let's see.
In terms of the MAGA movement is very important. So whatever you can contribute, but only if you can afford to contribute. Do not give anything if you can't afford it. You got to take care of yourself and you got to make sure you're going to be good and strong for the future. But if you can, it will be helpful. And they have a lot of money, the Democrats. They don't have good policy. They don't have good anything, including, by the way, a candidate. But they have a lot of money. So whatever you can do would be helpful, and we appreciate it. We're going to win, and we're going to win big, and it's going to be one of the biggest wins, I think, in the history of our country. It's the most important day, November 5th, the most important day in the history of our country. I think that's what it's going to go down as. And I wish you all a a lot of luck and get out and make sure you vote and get all your friends and vote. And we're going to have a big shocker coming up, and we're going to turn our country around, and we're going to make America great again. Thank you very much, everybody.
We are going to follow some breaking news now. All eyes are on Columbia, as this evening the state of South Carolina is set to carry out its first execution in more than a decade. Freddie Owens was convicted of 2 separate murders. After his first conviction, he was placed in the Greenville County Detention Center on a 24-hour hold. That is where he killed his cellmate, Christopher Brian Lee. Lee was in jail on a minor traffic offense. Well, before he killed his cellmate, Freddie Owens was convicted in the murder of Irene Graves. She was a single mother working 3 jobs to care for her children. Working overnight at the Old Speedway on Lawrence Road in 1997 when Owens and another defendant robbed the place, killing Irene in the process. Well, Fox Carolina's Justin Doherty is live in Columbia now where that execution will happen. Justin.
Haley, we are just outside the Department of Corrections headquarters here in Columbia. Just off to our left is the cap.
Okay, now he has already been executed. I woke up this morning and I saw that he got executed already. I don't know the details of that case. I seen Brother Marcellus' case come up on Undisputed, and ever since I saw that case, it's been bothering me so much, and I just been coming on here. So don't think that I don't care about the other people. What I'm saying is that this need to be resolved, period. That's why I said hold the death penalties is what I'm requesting. Hold all the death things, just hold off on everything, and let us look into this case right here with Brother Marcellus. And while y'all looking into the case with Brother Marcellus, maybe the other people would have had evidence that they would have got in the time when y'all trying to figure out Marcellus, and y'all could have handled those that were in the process of going through like it's doing with Marcellus. Because, I mean, it's nothing more than like 9 hours. Y'all could have waited that out. It's 9 hours. And I think that it should stop right here. I think the clock should stop. And they should say that we're reopening the case. Because we know it's the right thing to do. No matter if who was late, no matter if who was tardy, or anything. I know that people be tardy and late on work, but this is not just being tardy on work and being fined 50 cents or being on unemployment. This is somebody about to be dead. So they say they found more evidence. I'm asking that y'all please reopen this case. Please stop this clock from going so that he won't die before y'all look inside of the evidence to see what's really going on. Mr. Mike Parson, Governor Mike Parson, can you please look into this case, sir? Can you please stop this from happening so that the attorney can present the information to the state? The judge and them, they said that the information, if it's reviewed, could stop this. I don't understand why this is still going. But I'll let them finish on what they saying about what happened on this one.
Capital Punishment Facility, where that execution will be carried out this evening. Within the next few hours, Freddie Owens will have his final meal here in Columbia and then taken to that chamber for that sentence to be carried out. But Freddie Owens has been on death row since 1999. His execution planned for that time, but because of appeals and motions, his execution has been delayed. Also, the fact that the state of South Carolina has had trouble acquiring the drugs to carry out a lethal injection execution. So there was decades of legislative work to make sure other methods were added, as well as a shield law, which really keeps the transaction of those drugs private, because no drug company wanted to sell the lethal injection drugs to the state if that transaction was made public. So for now, that transaction is private due to that shield law. But again, as you mentioned, this execution will be the state's first in more than a decade. 2011 was the last time this sentence was carried out. But Freddie Owens has been convicted of murder in Greenville County on Irene Graves, a 41-year-old single mom with 3 kids. Then prosecutors say in a 24-hour holding period from that conviction to his sentencing, he killed his cellmate, Christopher Brian Lee. And again, we know that Freddie Owens will be executed tonight at 6 o'clock. He was given the choice between which method he wanted to die. It was shooting, his firing squad, electric chair, and lethal injection. He gave that power over to his attorneys to allow them to choose for him, and they decided he will die by lethal injection. Now, all of this comes after yesterday, when his attorneys filed a last-second motion with a sworn statement from his co-defendant at the time, Stephen Golden, who said that Freddie Owens wasn't even present at the time of that crime. But the Supreme Court ruled yesterday evening they will not delay his execution any further. They denied that motion. His attorneys then releasing a statement saying that the state of South Carolina will execute a man for a crime that he did not commit. But we were able to sit down with the sheriff at the time of that crime, retired Greenville County Sheriff Johnny Mack Brown, and we asked him if he is confident that Freddie Owens is the person responsible for this crime, and he said he has no doubt.
I don't regret anything that we did to that investigation, because my girls investigated it. There's no question that the evidence pointed to him as the guilty person. So I'm comfortable with that case, and there was nothing in the appeals that I could see or could hear or knew about that he had any reason to get a new trial.
100% confident jury made the right decision. He's the one.
Absolutely made the right decision.
Throughout the week, we've also been able to speak with Irene Graves' daughter, Ensley Graves. We asked her how she feels leading up to this moment this evening where her mother's killer will be put to death, and she said she really doesn't have many words for it, saying that she was just 10 years old at the time of her mother's murder, and she's thankful for those who made this decision for her. Haley.
Well, Justin, you've actually been selected as part of the media to be present during the execution. So what exactly does that entail?
Well, there will be a number of people there inside that capital punishment facility. I will be one of them. I've been selected as one of 3 media witnesses, myself, the Associated Press, as well as a local print outlet. But according to state law, there are 3 media representatives there inside that chamber for accountability, as well as representatives of the public. And so that is according to state law. I've been selected as the electronic local media. And so wherever that crime is committed, the local media there from that area will be there inside to represent the public and again for accountability, as well as who else will be in the chamber there this evening. We also know that the warden will be there, a representative from the Greenville County Sheriff's Office, a representative from the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, and the warden. We know that religious leaders will be there as well, and the defense attorneys. And we have been able to speak with Irene Graves' family, and we know that her daughter will not be there to witness that execution, but her daughter does tell us that her husband and her brother will be there to witness this. In Columbia, Justin Dory, Fox Carolina News.
Thank you, Justin. Of course, we will continue to bring you coverage on this all afternoon long. Be sure to download our free Fox Carolina News app for those updates and to get notifications sent straight to your phone. You can do that by heading to the App Store or Google Play and searching Fox Carolina News.
Well, as you can see, everybody talking about lynching. I don't know what else to tell you, fam. All I could do is tell you to hope and pray. It's a very strong thing when the family is telling you not to do it. And it's done anyway. This sad, man. Who else marching?
Don't spend another dime on Lotto until you watch this first. A math genius just released a video explaining
the last-ditch efforts to save Marcellus Williams' life. A group against the death penalty plans to deliver more than 1 million.
This is Brother Marcellus' son that's going to speak.
The last-ditch efforts to save Marcellus Williams' life. A group against the death penalty plans to deliver more than 1 million signatures to the Missouri State Capitol in hopes of stopping the execution just hours from right now.
Our Mercedes McKay joins us now live from University City with how his family is feeling about his death to come. Mercedes?
Rennie and Sydney, nearly 12 hours from now, Missouri death row inmate Marcellus Williams is set to die by lethal injection. This morning, we're live outside the University City Police Department, where the investigation into this case started over 25 years ago. Williams was sentenced to death for the 1998 murder of former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter Felicia Gale, who was repeatedly stabbed during a burglary in her University City home. 24 hours ago, the Missouri Supreme Court refused to stop the execution, following a last-minute hearing where Williams' attorneys went over errors in the case, from jury selection to the mishandling of the murder weapon. Today in St. Louis spoke to Williams' son ahead of his father's execution. Marcellus Williams Jr. told our Rennie Knott he was still hoping for a miracle, but his family has also made peace.
In this life, death is something that is going to come, you know? That's something that's for sure. You might not be rich, you might not get a dream car that you want, but you're gonna die, and you gotta make peace with that. So if this is the way that he going out, we already made peace. Allah is the best of all planners, so we ready to face that when it comes.
Williams is set to be executed tonight at 6 in Bonne Terre. And Rennie, we know that you sat down with Marcellus Williams Jr. just last week and spoke with him about how emotional this day will be for him.
He was surprisingly very calm during our interview back on Friday and spoke about growing up and his dad being there for him before he went off to prison. But even at that time, they kept in touch with one another over the years. He will be there tonight for the execution. He says him and his dad are at peace with the results. Thank you, Mercedes.
Plus.
Despite a call for clemency, Marcellus Williams' execution is set to move forward. Virgin Group founder Sir Richard Branson placed this full-page ad in the Kansas City Star urging Missouri Governor Mike Parson to stop the execution. Williams is scheduled to die in exactly 24 hours.
So the son said they already done made peace with Allahayim. The son said they already made peace with Allahayim. So I guess I'm gonna just turn on some music and pray. Hopefully Yahweh will change their mind at the last minute. But I'm gonna turn on some music and let's see what America do. The people that got the authority, let's see what they do. shalom to you, Sister Natalie. I saw you. Shalom to you, brother Monster Moshe. Shalom, Sister Naomi. And shalom, Sister Coco. Yeah, so something ain't right. Let me turn this down some. Sister Natalie said, something is not right with Williams or the case and SC. Praying still for both families. I pray they would not give up. It's my prayer too, sister. And that's our sister. She just joined the channel. I believe this month, later this month. She's been following the YSL case. I think she's a public attorney, a state attorney or something like that. And she been following the Jeffrey Williams case. And a lot of that in that case ain't going right either, you know. Yahweh forbid that even though all this stuff is going on, the people that's making decisions today, what you do today will affect somebody tomorrow. So family, how we treat each other today will affect what'll happen with us tomorrow. And we need to be careful that we always treat people how we would want to be treated. They went out their way. They still going out their way. One of the news stations said that they gon' do this. They gonna keep going until they can't go no more. And they're hoping for a change. And I believe that's what a lot of people is doing with these different countries. But we know that at the end of the day, what Elohim will is what it will be. So some may feel justified in their actions, but we know of a surety by looking at this and listening to the silence and to some of the responses that this right here wasn't done right. This was another time when everybody was trying to come together on something else. Let's not mess it up again. I'm telling y'all, the ones that came together for this, let's keep this up. Let's not mess it up again. You know how it was when everybody was biting and trying to chew each other up. But I still hope that Elder Marcellus, whatever way, as the brother said, whatever way that Elohim allow it to be. And that was what the brother said. And brother, I agree with you in prayer with that. I don't know. Y'all, I'm talking to y'all. Hold on, let me come and talk to y'all, because people gonna think I need to be put in the ward. I was about to talk to y'all. Hold on. Y'all wrath is upon them. Stay in repentance and forgiveness, obedience, humility, family. They will never win against y'all. And that's right, sister. That's right. Oh, you said you want to go. Okay. Yeah. I remember. I forget sometimes I forget. So it's up to you. One of the sisters said they wanted to come up and say something about what's going on with this case. So I dropped the link for you. Any one of y'all can come up here and y'all can voice y'all opinion, y'all concerns about this situation. Yep. But that made me feel better. The brother said that they prayed about it and whatever Allahim allowed, that's what he accept. And that remind me of the 3 Hebrew boys. They was willing to die. So even if the fire would have burnt them up, they were still willing to die. They know that Allahim told them not to bow down to that statue. We all have to be willing to stand for something. If you ain't standing for nothing now, get to standing for something. But it seemed like to me, the governor made it up in his mind that come hell or high water, he ain't answering that phone. I don't know. Everybody gonna remember this day. Some people may forget. No matter what decision they make. This brother right now, I'm not saying that this is his last hours, because you never know what's gonna happen. But this brother right here, his situation, this how you can know your suffering, what your suffering can do. Hopefully it have helped some people to remember why Yahweh gave us the commandments. We know that the scriptures say that he gonna destroy the earth when he return. It's in the Bible. Many people say they gonna fly up to heaven when they die. Many people say you turn into an angel when you die. I went inside of the Bible and I read, and it said that those who sleep in Yahushua will be resurrected unto eternal life and peace. At his return. So we know that there's a lot of interpretations, but there's a promise from Yahweh inside of the Katab. Some don't believe in resurrection. Even during the time of Hamashiach, many did not believe in the resurrection, and some did. But there's a promise inside of the scripture of an eternal kingdom. There is a promise of eternal life inside of the law and the prophets. Hamashiach, who is our hope, he said, Barack, not Obama, Barack are they. He didn't say, he wasn't calling Barack Obama phone number. He said, Barack are they who hope in Yahweh. This is a sad day, but I'm trying to find words to encourage the family not to give up. I haven't heard anything from the president. Let me see if any of the presidents, because it seemed like the governor is busy with something. Let's see. KRG, CG, they talking about it. Family. So everybody that's talking about this execution, that's a news station. Y'all should go and check out their channel. Okay. So let me go and click back in now. I think this right here, and I'm gonna look up Atlanta. But let's see this one here.
Supreme Court today rejected an 11th hour appeal for Marcellus Williams, the St. Louis death row inmate, now just 20 hours from his scheduled execution. By day's end, the lawyers had petitioned the United States Supreme Court for a delay in carrying out the death penalty, asserting that Williams' trial prosecutor, Keith Larner, had admitted during an August evidentiary hearing to making a constitutional error of racial bias during jury selection a quarter-century ago. Court documents indicate that at least part of the reason Larner used a preemptory strike against a prospective juror was because, like Marcellus Williams, he was a black man. The co-director of Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty says Larner's confession was offensive to hear.
You know, again, he was very loud and out front with these assumptions, with these biases, with these racial prejudice. He spoke them clearly, loudly, and he saw nothing wrong with them.
In a unanimous decision, the court says the lawyers working for Williams failed to demonstrate his actual innocence or any constitutional error that undermines the confidence in the judgment of the original criminal trial. Williams' attorneys then filed a new appeal with the Missouri Eastern District Court of Appeals regarding unconstitutional racial bias that was rejected.
The governor has often said that his decisions are made in light of what the victim's family want. And in those past cases, the victim's family has expressed the want for an execution. But now the victim's family has expressed a want not to have an execution.
Attorneys for Williams also have argued his innocence based on mishandling of DNA evidence and the knife tying Williams to the crime. So far this year, 2 people have been executed in Missouri. Williams is scheduled for execution tomorrow at 6 p.m.
This news is funded by viewers.
Oh, there go the mother right there. I call her mother. Hold on, y'all. Look, before the mother say something, I want to tell y'all something. You remember the other guy that was arguing on the stand? He said that he was actually trying to throw them a bone. So he wasn't trying to accuse. And for that right there, I apologize for that if I came off wrong. And I probably did come off wrong the other day, because this is bad. This is very bad. And I apologize to anybody that I offended. But I really think that this shouldn't happen.
Viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give. This is Democracy Now! I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Unless the U.S. Supreme Court intervenes, the state of Missouri will kill Marcellus Williams at 6 p.m. Central Time today. On Monday, Republican Governor Mike Parson turned down Williams' bid for clemency, followed a short time later by the Missouri Supreme Court rejecting his latest legal challenge. Williams is African-American. He was convicted in 2001 of killing a former St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter, Alicia Gale, who's white, during a robbery. He was convicted by 11 white jurors and 1 black juror after the prosecution was allowed to preemptively strike out 6 other prospective black jurors. Williams always maintained his innocence. The jurors, the prosecutor, and the murder victim's family all oppose Williams' execution. For more, we're joined in Kansas City, Missouri, by Tricia Rojo Bushnell, Marcellus Williams' attorney, executive director of the Midwest Innocence Project. Welcome to Democracy Now! We only have a few minutes, but it's possible that Marcellus Williams only has a few hours. Can you explain what you are calling for and what this case at the last minute is all about?
Yes, at this time, we're asking for what Marcellus Williams has been asking for 23 years, which is for a court to take a full and accurate review of the proceedings before it. Right now, for the first time ever, a few weeks ago, the prosecutor had to take the stand and testify under oath about his strikes that he used during the jury selection process. And at that hearing, he testified that he, at least in part, struck a juror based on his race. Yet right now, we have yet to have a court who will fully examine and review that evidence. We know that that's a violation of the Constitution. The prosecutor agrees that violated Williams' constitutional rights. But what we see is a system that's looking at finality over fairness, rushing to get to an execution date instead of taking the time to stop this execution and look at the merits of what is being argued.
And what was the main evidence against him? And could you talk about the advanced DNA testing or what it's revealed about the murder weapon?
Yes. So Mr. Williams was convicted based on what we know is a leading cause of wrongful conviction, which is essentially informant testimony. So this is a murder where there were no leads for months and months. And then at some point, the police suggested to the victim's husband that he should offer a reward. And it was only then, after a $10,000 reward had been offered, that the first informant came forward, a jailhouse informant, who said also that he wouldn't testify until he got the money. The information he provided was information that was essentially out in the public sphere from the newspaper, but he also provided information about another informant, a woman named Laura Asaro, who had had connections to Marcellus Williams in the past. She also not only had incentivized by the reward money, but the police forced her to talk by picking her up on her own warrants and saying, you know, we can arrest you and charge you with these crimes unless you help us here. At the time of the crime, there was a number of pieces of forensic evidence, including bloody footprints and hairs found at the crime scene, all of which exclude Marcellus Williams. In 2015, however, Mr. Williams requested additional DNA testing of the murder weapon, which was a knife found still protruding from the victim's body. That DNA testing was performed, male DNA was found on that murder weapon, and it excludes Marcellus Williams. He is not the person who left that DNA on the knife. Based on all of that evidence, the prosecutor reviewed the case, brought forward this motion to overturn Mr. Williams' conviction on the basis of innocence, as well as on the basis of these constitutional violations, including racial discrimination. But on the day before the evidentiary hearing, new DNA testing came in that showed that the DNA on that knife could be consistent with the trial prosecutor's DNA and the trial prosecutor's investigator. At the evidentiary hearing, we've now learned that they mishandled that knife. They touched it without gloves in 2001 repeatedly, essentially destroying any potential probative value this critical evidence would have, which is what the prosecutor now also concedes was a constitutional violation.
So, Tricia, who is in charge at the U.S. Supreme Court of this case? What has to happen today?
So the stay motions go to Justice Kavanaugh, but the courts are going to be reviewing all of the cert petitions, the requests that the Supreme Court take on the case, as well as the motions to stop the execution. There are 3 petitions pending before the U.S. Supreme Court right now. The first is regarding the governor, Parson, had dissolved what was called a board of inquiry that was created to review all of this evidence. He dissolved it, even though Governor Eric Greitens had appointed it. So the first is regards to whether or not he was able to do that. The second is whether the federal courts should have reopened the case to allow this new evidence of racial discrimination in the jury selection to be heard. And the last one, filed last night, is about what weight should the prosecutor be given, his concessions be given. And we know that the U.S. Supreme Court has already granted review of a similar case, the case of Richard Glossip out of Oklahoma, where the Attorney General there said the same thing, that constitutional error occurred here and we shouldn't execute him. And so for those same reasons, the court should hear this case as well.
Tricia Rojo Bushnell, Executive Director of the Midwest Innocence Project. The prosecutor, the jurors, and the victim's family have called for him not to be executed. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Democracy Now! Is funded by Director of the Midwest Innocence Project. The prosecutor, the jurors, and the victim's family have called for him not to be executed. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Director of the Midwest Innocence Project. The prosecutor, the jurors, and the victim's family have called for him not to be executed. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give today at democracynow.org/give.
So everybody calling for it not to happen. The prosecutor, I believe the judges and the jurors, the family, everybody is calling for this not to happen. So we'll see. We'll see. Family, I don't think that I can stand the wait. So I don't know. I just post up there if he all right. But before I get off of here, let me go and see if there's any updates on the president, the person that wants you to vote for them to be president. Let's see if there's any presidents that's giving a response to this right here. If there's anybody that's willing to speak on this. President. Matter of fact, I'll let y'all see as I go down so y'all can see it for yourself. You see I wrote President Speaks and I put Marcellus. Let's see. I don't know what happened. Maybe they stopped it. Maybe that's why she stopped the broadcast. Marcellus Williams Jr. is hoping for a miracle ahead of his father's execution. I think we should leave it with the brother, what the brother got to say. And if the president addresses this,
would you be interested in collecting 5-figure paychecks for a few hours of work, helping me in your spare time from home?
convicted of killing St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter Felicia Gale back in 1998. St. Louis County prosecutor Wesley Bell is asking the court to send the case back to court, claiming new evidence of innocence and alleged racial bias in jury selection. Williams is set to die by lethal injection tomorrow at 6 p.m.
This morning, we hear from Marcellus Williams Jr. I sat down with him to discuss the case. And this isn't the first time that his father has come close to his execution date. And Marcellus Jr. says he is ready for whatever the latest outcome will be. How does hope apply to where you are right now in life?
Like, I hope a miracle happens, you know what I'm saying? I hope it's, all I wish is to free my father from up under this enslavement and spare his life.
What would you say to the Supreme Court if you had the opportunity to testify on behalf of your dad?
I would try to make them see that this is a murder on their behalf, and this is wrong, you know? And I believe my father is truly innocent, and they need to take a closer look.
Have you allowed yourself to even get to Tuesday right now?
Yeah, I already put it inside my body that I would be a witness to it, to the execution. I'm standing firm and show my dad he's not alone if this what it comes to. And I'm ready for it. My mindset, my spirit, strong. Like, I'm doing this for my dad. It's bigger than me. So for me to be there in that time, if it comes to that, it's like an honor. I'm gonna see him off. So if this is the way that he going out, we already made peace.
Has he said that to you, that he's made peace?
Multiple times. It's not even just making peace. It's like, this is the natural way of life. You're gonna die.
Marcellus Jr. told me he is now working with at-risk kids in South City and using his father's story to deter kids from taking the wrong path in life.
All right, family. Gotta go. Now there's a sheriff that killed him. I got to go. All right, family. Shalom. Keep y'all eyes on the prize. I'm gonna let the Bible read before we go. I can't let it stay with that. I didn't even know that was gonna happen. So I'm gonna let the Bible read, and then I'm finna go. The words of Messiah, and keep these words in your heart, family. Shalom. After this is done, then I'll drop off. So I'm going to say to you all, Shalom.
Matthew 25. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose, and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man travelling into a far country, who called his own servants, and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to every man according to his several ability, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh, and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came, and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew thee that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went, and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and that at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which hath 10 talents. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me no meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me not in. Naked, and ye clothed me not. Sick, and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungered, or athirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? Then shall he answer them, saying, Verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one of the least of these, ye did it not to me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal.